There was no warning, no evacuation. Palestinians were slaughtered while they slept. And the images, again, of children slaughtered, their bodies torn apart.
Entire families wiped out, over 400 people killed, many of them children. It's just absolutely horrific. It's really hard to breathe seeing this and also imagining that this is going to become normal again.
We are once again seeing horrific images of parents weeping over their dead children. Screaming to cameras and to the world, how are you permitting this?
The collapse of the ceasefire in Gaza took place in stages. First, the Israelis repeatedly violated the deal with Hamas with sporadic attacks on the Strip. Then Israel demanded that Hamas consent to change the ceasefire agreement on Israel's terms to release all remaining Israeli captives immediately.
Hamas refused offer after offer to release our hostages.
When Hamas refused to deviate from what it and Israel had agreed to, the Netanyahu government destroyed what was left of the ceasefire. This past Wednesday produced one of the biggest Palestinian death tolls of any 24-hour period since October the 7th, 2023. More than 400 killed, at least 170 of them children. To hear most media outlets in Israel tell the story, there's just one party to blame, and it's not Israeli.
חמאס מסרב להתגמש, מוחמד סינואר ממשיך להרים קשיים על המשא ומתן. כלומר,
Israeli outlets, while sometimes bringing the voices of hostage families, criticizing Netanyahu, also are once again really enlisting to serve propaganda. The worst example I saw was a slide on Channel 12 News where they were saying 400 Hamas militants killed. Even the army doesn't claim that it killed 400 members of Hamas. Most of them were civilians.
The overall framing, as always, with Israel is we're innocent and they're at fault. All of the evidence shows that Israel stated clearly its intention to violate this agreement from day one. And what we see is very, very little questioning of that in the Israeli media.
הסיבות, המשא ומתן תקוע, חוסר התגמשות של החמאס, להמשיך ולשחרר חטופים.
Everyone is simply accepting the notion that Israel is attempting to negotiate some new terms for the ceasefire agreement, and that's perfectly reasonable for them to abrogate an agreement that they already signed and ask for different terms.
The hasbara of communication strategy that Israel uses over and over again, where they try to mislead the audiences, to spin the truth around, to justify their war crimes and their continued attacks on children and women and civilians in Gaza under different pretexts of Hamas or different resistant groups. It's the same textbook going over and over again.